To rebel or not to rebel? That is the question. Facing King Henri the Good, Plantagenet of Aragon. Hello everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel. And I want to thank all of you who left comments about, well, what should Henri do? And I've been really thinking about it a lot since I recorded that episode and reading through some of the comments. And since this is, in my style, in the roleplay style, I decided to kind of look back specifically at who Henri is. First of all, he's 57. Can't forget that. And he has a 35-year-old son already who has a 16-year-old son. So, yeah, he's been around for a little bit. Things have been going well for him. But he is, of course, forgiving. That doesn't really apply to dealing with Francia. Lazy. This definitely does. Trusting. Not really. He's an adequate bargainer. That doesn't have anything to do with it. Hunter doesn't. Patriarch of the family. Maybe. Thinking in terms of what's best for the house. And, of course, he's an intrigue courtier. If we look at his wonderful wife, Queen Estefania, she is fickle, forgiving, and lustful, and a few of these other little things here. His son, Prince Angevin, is humble, diligent, and cynical. So being humble means he does not ask for much. Diligent, doesn't shy away from hard work, but he's cynical, trusts the self-interest of others above all else. He's also Midas-touched, a novice physician, an eager reveler, a wise man of consecrated blood, a pilgrim, an intrigue courtier, and a traveler. He's a very interesting man. And look at that stewardship right there. And his son is diligent, shy, temperate, things moderation, Midas-touched, consecrated blood, pilgrim, and handsome. And he is married to Catherine de Toucy, who is beautiful, an unyielding defender, tough soldier, greedy, brave, yet content. And she has children. She is 37. Henri is 16. So interesting little dynamic there. So taking all of that into account, I would have said, let's be bold, if there would have been bold traits. If any of these characters, specifically Henri's wife or his heir, were ambitious or anything along those lines, and none of them are. And at the end of the day, King Henri is lazy. So lazy does not mean an uprising against his liege. In fact, it means the path of least resistance and the least amount of work. War is a lot of work. And right now, Henri is going to let things play out with his spy master, who's trying to find a hook. If he can find a hook on the emperor himself, and we can exercise that hook, we can modify the contract. Just unpause the game. Modify the contract enough that we can at least have internal wars again, and we can take on Brittany and Aquitaine and Provence and such. So that is the direction we're going to go. Greetings, my charming vassal. I hope it would not come to this, but I am left with no other option. I must rescind your appointment as Chancellor of Francia, effective immediately. Well, now does that... Well, no. Henri is forgiving. The emperor, he probably had his reasons. So we're going to play a little bit of the long game internally and see what happens here at court with the spy master Marguerite looking for secrets. If she can find something on the emperor, we'll do that. Bold move, absolutely not. He's not going to go into open rebellion at this point, nor is he going to join the king of Italy in his intrigue. Dynasty head changes again because it makes no sense at all. And we're changed again because Duke Arnaud of Pomerania has died. My spy master has come to me with grave news. While we do not know yet who, someone's planning to kill me. Oh boy. So we must stop the villain behind this. So now things are getting really interesting in this episode really quickly. Let's actually take a look at bowmen, learn the Iberian vulgar language through observation. Very nice. Now let's actually pause the game here real quick. And let's take a look at the positions we have. So we've got our physician in Mathieu the Headless. Excellent. Antiquarian, we've got a champion. Don't have a caravan master. And Robert Longchamp would be excellent for that. So we're going to appoint him as caravan master. And then what we will also need, we're going to go with a bodyguard for sure. And we're going to go with Gilbert. He's average, but we shall appoint him. And I think we can also go with a food taster. Our court physician and knight for that. And don't really need to push it quite that far. Do we need a master of the hunt? Is there anybody who's good at this? Or vassal and knight? Count Aymar the Hawk of Barry. Kind of like that. So we'll make him the master of hunt. And we will also appoint a master of horse, who would be excellent here. Master of the hunt, personal champion, Mathieu the Headless, Countess Guillemette of Men. She will be the master or the mistress of horse. Anything else? We can do a high almoner, Archbishop Isandrich of Aragon. Make him that. We'll just add some positions here. We have the money, so we may as well have a little fun while we're doing this. A cupbearer, Eleanor, 16, a bold ravener. Always fun. Make her our cupbearer. I think that takes care of that for now. So we've got some inactive accolades that can be reinstated, and we will take a look at those here. So let's go with the Knight of the Serpent. Let's appoint someone to this. Jasper. Any other ones? Knight of the North Star, Jacques. And Death of Demons. We have nobody to appoint there. Successor, we will seek worthy successors. Now next we're going to take a look here at what we can do improvement-wise. I mean, we have a lot of options here. New duchy building. We can do military academies. So what this would do is men-at-arms, recruitment cost would go down. Army gold maintenance, knight effectiveness. Marches. I do like this. Protect the borders and with fortifications, local garrisons. So fort level will go up. Supply limit goes up. Hostile raid time goes down. Garrison size goes up. Holding taxes in hills, mountains, and deserts. We don't have any of that. Siege works. That's not bad. Royal armories. That's not bad. Jousting grounds. Court smitheries. Arsinde has come of age. Always had a way with words. It is therefore unsurprising that she has taken well to the study of diplomatic relations. They grow up so fast. And yes, we will finalize this marriage with the King of Galicia. I'll take a look at our military here real quick. Where everybody is stationed. They're in Zaragoza. Light footmen are not stationed anywhere. The bowmen aren't stationed. Trebuchets aren't stationed. In Samoa, we have the armored horsemen. And in Angers, we have the armored footmen. And why that's important is because I would look right here for stationed men-at-arms damage goes up and toughness goes up. The royal armories wouldn't be bad. Smithies, those would be pretty good as well. We can also go to tax offices, leisure palaces, and royal reserves. All of these cost a good chunk of money. I think the smithies aren't too bad. The next step after that, so if we go here, we've got Crown Blacksmiths, then Blacksmiths Guild, and finally the Royal Forges. So if we construct Crown Blacksmiths, that means the heavy infantry damage goes up by 10%, infantry toughness goes up by 30%, men-at-arms maintenance goes down, dual contest and this holding goes down, reduced costs for Grand Tournament, increased quality of sponsored inspirations, enables superior armaments travel option. So Crown Smithies would be an interesting option here. If we look at the landscape, it is plains. So marches really wouldn't work here. Here we have plains as well. So yeah, that wouldn't really work. I do like the military academies. Then we'd go from schools to officer academies to grand military academies. Number of knights goes up, men-at-arms, recruitment cost, knight effectiveness. Let's do military academies. And he's not a military man, though. So what would be more along what he would find most interesting? Henri himself is, diplomacy and learning. So is there anything here that would lean into that? So leisure palaces while staying in one lavishly luxuriant castle is fine. Having a few more, choose between never hurts. Actually, historically, this I find really interesting because the Loire Valley was used as basically this pleasure region by the high nobility of France and the French kings. So leisure palaces in the Loire Valley, I like this from an historical standpoint. What does this give? So the reduced cost for hosting a feast, now by 50%. Grand wedding, increased rewards there. Monthly prestige goes up. Stress loss gets boosted. Hostile scheme success chance. Control growth. Yes. You know what we're going to do? Leisure palaces there. Then in Saumur, here we've got homesteads. We have a bailey, hamlets. Let me next after a bailey. We can't really do anything right now. Angevin keep building or its upgrades. So we would have to construct a keep here for 550. That boosts our taxes. Station men-at-arms damage goes up. Fort levy goes up. Yes. We're going to upgrade the keep there. So that's a major investment. Now our next holding we're going to go to is all the way down here in Zaragoza, which is an area we've really, kind of neglected for a while. So since we do not, the royal forests are here. We could replace it. We can't at this point. So there's not really anything we can do here. We'll just have to leave it as is. We have rampart walls, resin collectors, holding pens, bellows, and wooden barracks. I'm going to build something else here to bump up our tax income. Water mills, this isn't bad. Water mills turns all kinds of water movement from tides to waterfalls, so this gives us a bump in taxes, supply limit goes up, and the construction cost goes down and development growth goes up. So we will construct water mills in Zaragoza. So we can create another men-at-arms regiment. So right now we've got armored horsemen, light footmen, bowmen, armored footmen, trebuchets, and pikemen. What will we do next? I mean, we could go with light horsemen. I mean, again, we've got our light footmen. We've got our pikemen. Not really else to do there except create a light horseman regiment, which, it's not bad. We can add that, create that. And what we can do is bolster some of these. We already have light horse. Sorry, these are the ones I just did. Haha, wasn't paying attention. What we can do, though, is increase some of the size. Again, this all costs us a ton of money, once things really get going. However, overall, it is worth it. We can afford it while we're in peacetime. And then my goal is, ideally, when we fight a war, that we have a large enough treasury here that that's not an issue. I really don't want to dip too far below 1,000. Definitely not below 500 in future, because that way we can afford longer, protracted wars if need be. So, King Modog and you became rivals when a feud broke out between the houses. Okay, accolade successors have been found, so we'll go back to that. We also have a proposal. Greetings, my benevolent vassal. It would please me greatly if you could personally see to little Sophie Cabet's education. Yes, I will accept that. So she comes to Anjou. That's an interesting little twist there. So anyway, let's go here. So Death of Demons can be reinstated. So we will appoint Dietvin as the head of that. Let's see, where do we need successors here? We don't have anybody. Ubald does not serve as a knight. So I need to find Ubald. Where are you, Ubald? So I think what we'll do here, we've got our steward who's a knight. So we're going to forbid him from being a knight. And that should... No, we still have Ubald not there. Another one that would be important. I'm going to forbid Mathieu, our court physician. And that means Ubald is a knight. And with that, we can make him the successor. Mathraval rivalry. I am told King Madog, the contemptible Bampot, has vowed the Plantagenet to be eternal enemies of his family, has actually raised some hackles. Oh, the feeling is mutual. Ah, how childish. It's silly, and at the end of the day, King Henri is too lazy and too forgiving and trusting to really lean into too much of a rivalry with the King of Wales. So we've got a mind to mold. Young Sophie, Emperor Julian's sister, has at last arrived from Francia for her education. Once she settled in, the lessons will begin. Excellent. While performing her duties as my spy master, Marguerite has uncovered a secret held by Mayor Manasses of Montreux. The ways in which he seeks pleasure is revolting for any decent man to think of. Ugh. Okay. Fetch me a bucket before I... So another faction created against some peasant rabble in Bern. Just looking at a potential populist uprising. Got a new diplomatic perk. Accomplished forger. Fabricate claim on county speed plus 75%. And unlocks the buy artifact claim interaction. Unlock that, but unfortunately we can't really do much here right now, because we can't go to war. To the benign Henri, despite our best efforts, my agents have yet to uncover any secrets at Emperor Julian's court. If there's anything, we shall find it. Continue looking. We must find something. To the charming Henri, I have heard good things about you, and I am interested in starting a written conversation. I hope that this letter finds you willing, for I am awaiting a swift reply. It is Pope Innocentius himself. Start exchanging letters with Innocentius. So let's just zoom out here a little bit. The Mongol Empire is still huge and vast, but there are wars all over the place. So that's an interesting thing to keep an eye on, especially because of how close to home they now are. Thank you for your swift response, and I'm looking forward to our correspondence. Please, I implore you, pick the first subject to discuss. Let's take a look here. So he likes stewardship and, of course, learning. He's temperate, just, and impatient. Let's discuss the finer points of etiquette. Please tell me about friendship. I think... whole of body, a wise man, a scholar. Let's look at the finer points of etiquette. Hungary itself is at war. Let's see here, the Hungarians have an internal war they're dealing with. Of course, everything bouncing around what used to be the Holy Roman Empire. Interesting, interesting. Are you trying to make me feel like an idiot? Your last letter was full of obscura. Oops. Well, that didn't go quite as Henri had hoped. Schemer discovered. My spy master has come to me with grave news. It is my rival, Naip Mijat, that's plotting to kill me. The cocky fiend. Okay, so what can we do with him? Not really much. We can try to murder him. 9% chance. There's not really much we can do here. So, you lose 100 opinion. You are allowed to rightfully imprison Knight Mijan. Close family members and spouses lose opinion. As he is trying... so the murder on you has been abandoned by discovering that. Well, let's look a little externally here. I'm waiting to see what really happens here with the German states and the Mongol Empire before we act too boldly there. Let's take a look at England itself. With its 21,000 troops. We do not have a Casus Belli, or Casus Belli, but it might not be bad. Oh, King Madog, neighboring ruler, won a war. So in Italy itself. Okay, so the Kingdom of England. This would be one that I would be most interested in. So once again, can't find anything at the Emperor's Court. Keep it up. Keep looking. We need to find something. I do want to see, let's see, Wales. They're allied with England and Denmark. The English are allied with kind of Denmark, but mainly Wales. If we start fabricating claims in England, that could be of interest to move, say, against Kent or Wessex or even Cornwall, something along the coast in the south. It's something to think about and at least explore looking at the English here. My spies have informed me about a hunter causing a ruckus at the local tavern. The man has been spending large amounts of gold and bragging loudly about the great deal he struck with a fancy lady in pearls and silk. Apparently he drew a map of the local plains for an unknown noblewoman. The spies think the lady must be scheming against me or one of my subjects. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. So to move across the sea and finally start looking at England, could we do that? How are we looking here militarily? Now, we have 11,000 and our allies have 40,000. So, I mean, we have the military strength, especially because we would bring the Castilians and the Galicians into this war against England. It could be interesting. It could be interesting. Let's at least send... oh, a lesson here. My ward, Sophia's just finished a lesson held by Richard on the management of the treasury and the gold therein. Sophie seems to have taken the lesson somewhat to heart. While she understands the role of the lower classes, she also insists that if a peasant stops paying their taxes, they are of no more use and should be discarded. A very callous view on human life. Good. Do not let mere feelings hold you back. No, that's not... that isn't Henri. If you've not learned anything, the lessons are about fairness. Well, haha, no, girl. You need to do is to bleed them dry. No, I think fairness would be more it. So she gains just. Now, it adds some stress, but I don't really care about that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to send our Archbishop across the channel to... I think let's go to Sussex and see what he can find. Now, some have said that England should not be, some in the comments that is, that England should not be a main focus anymore, that instead Aragon and France alone would be the main focus. And I do agree with that overall, but right now, in lieu of really anything else, I think an expansion into England makes the most sense. And then maybe a grab for the English throne eventually. That could be of interest as well. I mean, a few hundred years later, it's now 1266. So we've been doing this for 200 years. We've got less than 200 left to go in the overall timeline. So we're at about the halfway point, really, in the timeline. And ideally, unless unforeseen things happen, I'd like to see if we can push this all the way to 1453. Now, interestingly enough, I looked at a few of the wars we can declare. And, okay, so Iveria has died. Mathieu. Don't care about that. There are a number of forced vassalization wars we can find specifically in Italy. For Lombardy, for Ravenna, on Sardinia, Gallura specifically, and Sardinia as well, which is an interesting idea, though not necessarily one that I'm overly interested in. Down here, the Taifa, Taifa, yes, no, Majorca, sorry, even if in Harit. This would be of greater interest to me are these islands down here, or Al-Andalus itself, and going after them. They've got a decent amount of troops, but I'm not overly concerned about that. We've been invited to a feast, which we will not attend right now. We can also ask our head of faith for gold. We could do that, spend the piety, gain some more cash, but I'm not going to do that right now. We're going to hold off, because maybe we can add some claims moving forward. But Al-Andalus, this would be an interesting one. To the benign Henri, I've heard good things about you. I'm interested in a conversation. Start exchanging letters or politely decline. You know what? I'm going to politely decline. I'm not interested because the last time we had a pen pal, it was the Pope, and it didn't go that well. How are things looking here in North Africa? We do have King Fulk of Tahert, who is kind of surrounded and landlocked at this point. Things are not looking great. So King Fulk is a little bit on his own. And we've got Grand Emirates around him. Sicily is still sitting there, still the Primischlit. And I totally butchered that. Dynasty, the Bohemians, essentially, are holding Sicily, both in southern Italy and North Africa. And the Hishamids and the Hashimids are going strong here. What are we looking at? What are the wars they're dealing with in the Mongol Empire? And this is defending against Duke, the Koshan Duchy, in the Dissolution War. So this is all across his lands, and they are losing pretty badly. So we'll have to see where this one ends. They're at minus 84% war score, and that can completely change the landscape of Europe and the world. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that for a bit. Greetings, my benevolent Lean. I would like to petition you in your wisdom to consider my claim for the county of Luxembourg. It's not right that Duke Philip should sit safely as a usurper in his castle, mocking my dynasty's birthright. Please, my lord, support your loyal vassal. By taking up arms, they will not recognize my claim willingly. When the time is right, within the year. So when the time, I will act only if and when I see any gain in it. So let's take a look here at the county of Luxembourg. So it is sitting right there. And Duke Philip Fils Jean of Luxembourg of House Grünberg. Got some internal allies here. And his liege is, of course, the Mongols. So, when the time is right, within a year I shall act on your behalf. No, when the time is right, we can think about it. But launching a campaign against the Mongols right now for Luxembourg would be a weird one, to be perfectly honest. I mean, there are a few things here. We can do a holy war for a kingdom. So the kingdom of Frisia. So that's on the cards. And that would be a tough one. I mean, it says military strength similar. We have the significantly higher military strength. And we would have quite a few on our side. Interesting to at least consider. Hospitality. The more I study the noble art of statecraft, the more I realize how beneficial good relations with my neighbors are. I ought to have one of them visit my court so I can show them just how good a friend I can be. Duke Egas of Portugal? Maybe. Count Dauphin of Salerno? Judique Mathieu of Tiroli? I should focus on appeasing my own vassals. Yeah, we'll do that. So the Kingdom of Frisia, that could be one. For that whole kingdom. A holy war for a duchy. Okay, so something just happened here. No valid titles to target anymore. Of course, we have claims in Tyrol. So let's just break that up. It looks like a lot of things have just changed. But attempted murder while performing her duties by spy master Marguerite has uncovered a secret held by Count Errad of Amiens. He was the man behind a failed murder attempt against Mayor Centule. Okay, so we've had a bit of a change. The Mongol Empire. I'll hit pause here. We got to take a look at this. The Mongol Empire is gone. It is no longer a thing. It is completely broken up. And now we can take a look here. We've got Buryatia with a relatively strong military. Then we've got, what we have here, Duke Orson of Bar. We have Capua in here. Augsburg, Nordgau. Lusatia has expanded. Interesting enough. Holstein is sitting here. And then, of course, Poland as well. We've got Lithuania now has formed. Livonia has formed. And, yeah, so, and then, of course, internal wars here going after the Rurikids, not internal wars. But here we've got a number of wars we can declare. And we have more power and more money. So what do we have here? We have our own claims for the Duchy of Tyrol. That's our ancestral home. That would also be Prince Geoffroy's. This count. So we've got the county of Luxembourg, Namur. That would be a no-go. Dietwin, the Duchy of Austria. We could go after. I mean, it might not be a bad time to strike against them, but the Mongols have fallen apart. What that basically means is, I mean, look at this. Now we have Serbia down here. We have Hellas. And then we have Anatolikon. Cumania has come back. Serbia, look at the Serbian holdings here. The Khan Counter of Serbia. We've got Serbian lands here, Serbian lands there. We have high fashion sitting right here. Arayid, Khorasan is once again a thing. Cumania is completely broken up here. So, yeah, things have just dramatically changed. But I don't think going after them right now makes a lot of sense. We can try to claim our homeland in Tyrol. Outliving a child. André has been murdered. Prince André of Aragon has been murdered. He was not our eldest. He was our second eldest. Oh God, how could you do this to André? If I have sinned, why did you not punish me instead? He was blameless, my perfect son. Life had so much more in store for him. He did not deserve this. So our family is under attack, and I think I know who's after this. It's probably King Madog. And we have a cadet branch, Anjou Poitiers, formed by our brother. So Madog here. What could we do here? We can try to murder him. Chances are not very high. And a gift. Greetings, my serene vassal. Please accept this humble gift. So 157 gold. I accept it. So I'll accept that. An unexpected visit. With my mind set on a relaxing evening, I am heading from Queen Estefania's chamber with some wine and chess set. Without knocking, I push her door open. Queen Estefania is seated by her desk, writing furiously. To clear my throat, she jumps out of her skin. She quickly stuffs a roll of parchment into her pocket, turns towards me with an uneasy look upon her face. What are you hiding? Show me at once. Nah. He's trusting. Return later and search her chambers in secret? No. Respect her privacy. He is trusting. He's a trusting guy. So the lure of language, ruling a multicultural Aragon, comes with its own set of challenges. My Chancellor, Duchess Caesarea, said I could learn Catalan. Why bother? Angevin is clearly superior. He's already learned a language. There's way too much work to now sit down and learn yet another language. Gesture of appreciation, a mischievous smile is playing on Queen Estefania's lips. I know I've acted strangely as of late, and for that I apologize, but I had good reason. Estefania gestures for me to follow and leads me to the great hall. When she pushes the door open, someone starts playing a jolly tune. Oh my, the decorations, the smell, and everyone is here. It's a feast in your honor. Let me get you a cup of wine. Oh, thank you, Estefania. See? Trusting someone does pay off. You don't always have to be super paranoid in Crusader Kings 3. I mean, usually you really, really should be. But you don't always have to be. Mighty Pen, picking up the padded swords for a sparring match with my ward Sophie, I noticed a tattered journal on his sideboard. From the cover, it seems to contain exercises and best practices pertaining to the martial arts. Sophie glances in my direction. Oh, that thing, I mostly read it for the illustrations. You can borrow it. Intriguing. So actually bump up our martial to the benign Henri. And we have finally enough material to make a case for the Earldom of Sussex. See it done. But I actually want to turn my eyes down south here. And he has a alliance with the Mulawadi Caliphate, which is Al-Andalus. Now, Al-Andalus itself has quite a few other ones, but I'd like to take these islands. I really, really would. At the same time, we could... Oh, England. England is dealing with defending against Earl Stephen, the trembling of East Riding, and the war against the tyranny of King Henri. That's probably the lower something at some point. Or King Henry. Not Henri. I'm Henri. A curse undone. Ha ha ha. So no day too soon. Medjan of Kalama has died. The man who tried to have us murdered. Bohemond has come of age. As an active and enthusiastic child, it is no surprise that Bohemond has done well in his studies of war and combat, and it is impressive to see such skill in someone so young. They grow up so fast, so he now has the traits. Brilliant strategist, famous champion, forter, and cautious leader. Unconditionally, as I lean over the map in the council chamber, a sudden creak turns my head towards the door. My ward Sophie appears in the hallway, saunters into the room, seemingly uninterested in my presence. And without warning, I am enclosed in a tight hug. She quickly lets go with an embarrassed expression. I look at her, a hidden tear in my eye, while my hand is squeezing her shoulder in an effort to reciprocate the gesture. You're a good daughter. Well, I mean, he can't overthrow the Emperor now. He's besties with his younger sister, but we do need to figure out what we can do here. We're just sitting on these claims, and it's starting to really grate. While performing her duties as spy master, Marguerite has uncovered a secret by Count Hérat of Amiens. Secretly taken Denise de Plassy, noblewoman from Amiens, as a lover. I don't care about those. We need something on the Emperor. We have a new diplomacy lifestyle perk, and it is Diplomat. So we gained the train Diplomat, which gives a +3 for diplomacy, independent ruler opinion +20, and personal scheme power +25%. So we can unlock that, and then August would be the next one to go down. If Henri lives that long, I mean, he is 61 at this point. We do have something at our royal court, the munificence of Bernhard. In the past few days, neighboring Duke Bernhard has been visiting my court on his way to some holy site or something. Since his arrival, he has been outshining me with his generosity towards my own courtiers, who have all been lapping up his gold with no dignity. Can't help but scoff when I see him surrounded by adoring courtiers for the umpteenth time, my courtiers. A purse for you, good Bohemond, and some coins for you also, kind Robert. And for you, sweet Sophie, sweet honey cakes. Remember, riches are meant to be shared. I can be even more generous. No, he's not petty. Should take advantage of his silly generosity, too. No, I believe Bernard has overstayed his welcome. Yes, Duke Bernard of Bavaria. I think better him spending than me. Yeah. So, Bohemond, 16, can marry, so let's find him a suitable spouse. So, Bohemond at 16, Queen Maria of Croatia, alliance with the Kingdom of Croatia. She is hale, chaste. Chaste, not good. Gertrude of Thuringia, Franconian. She's lustful, wrathful, and compassionate. We can go Piedmont. We can go with the County of Bagherval. There are some options here. Salerno in Lombardy. We can marry him at 16 to Sophie of Francia, which would make Empire of Francia our ally, and their children would have claims on the empire and the kingdom. We have Hungary, and we have England. Oh, claims to England may not be bad, but actually the Princess Sophie, I do like this one. Plantagenet and Bohemond would gain, his children would gain those claims. Yes, we will send the proposal. And you know what? How do we ask the head of faith for gold? No, we're gonna wait for a little bit. We have an inspired person who can be sponsored. Inspiration from a Weave of Inspiration, Queen Estefania herself. Yes, absolutely. So now we have an alliance with the Emperor himself, which could be of interest. Ashes to ashes, rust to Antiquarian approaches me holding the Castilian spear. Nah, it's too expensive. I don't care about that one. So, what do we do here? These guys, the Khan is a problem, to say the least. I wouldn't mind going to war for our claims, but they're pretty powerful now. And that is a little bit of a problem. So maybe not that direction. England could declare a war for our claims here. And they're vastly inferior. We could grab the Earldom of Sussex. But I don't think that's enough. I was watching Sophie play with other children when Timur tried to push her over. The moment did not last long. Sophie soon had made an entirely new game out of it and forgotten the previous game entirely. Moving on is often the best approach, so she's fickle. You must never let others walk over her. Be wrathful. She must turn the other cheek. Yes, forgiving. That is exactly what Henri would teach her. I've arrived in Angers to pay homage, Countess Melisande of Evreux. We will, of course, welcome her in and take the gifts. You know what? Since it worked out so nicely here in Sussex, we can see here, this is where we have all of our claims right now. I think we should expand this and focus on Kent. Build up some English claims, and then maybe eventually make a move across the channel for England itself. The Angevin culture has embraced the charismatic tradition. Espionage lovers. So Duke Gerrit of Holland, he has a lover in Irmgard von Kempen. Yeah, that's useful to know, and that's basically all. The fickle Philip. I bump into a very grave-looking Queen Estefania, my weaver, hoping that she doesn't bring ill news of the splendid tapestry she should soon have ready for me. Oh, there you are, my liege. I have hit a wall in my work. Nothing major. My ideas have gone to ground as the pressure mounts. I just need some inspiration. To the Great Hall. I know what you need. Real inspiration comes from within. Yes. My wife, inward. Focus inward. A name to remember. My Queen Estefania approaches me with thought. Is there anyone special to you? Well, you, of course, my beloved. I knew that getting older would mean doing everything slower, but I didn't think it would all come to a halt until my death. Lately, I feel a constant malaise, and everything takes more effort than before. I'm worried that if I lie down, I might not be able to get up again. There's no doubt that my time is running out. I feel like I cannot but await death's sweet embrace to claim me. How long will I have to wait? So he is now infirm. We lose some stress, but we gain the trait infirm, which means, yeah, things are heading downhill for Henri quickly. Creative freedom. This is ridiculous. Touricht protests. As the keeper of the king's personal collection, I have a responsibility to ensure the quality of your work. You'll see it once it's finished, Queen Estefania retorts. You should leave a woman to her work when she is weaving a scene from myth and legend fit for royalty. Touricht will ensure its quality, Estefania. No. Stick to your own duties, for sure. I mean, you're not going to tell the queen what to do. While performing her duties as my spy master, Marguerite has uncovered a secret held by Count Erad of Amiens. And it is disputed heritage. We need something on the Emperor. Well, given that Henri is slipping in health, we are going to demand gold. Inspiration has been realized, but let's ask for the gold first. Get that money in there. In the meantime, inspiration realized. In here, my lord. My wife, Queen Estefania, gestures to the door of her weavery, where she has been toiling for months on my commissions. Stepping through the doorway, I gasp as I gaze upon the work hanging in front of me. A large velvet tapestry of masterful craftsmanship, ancient gods, awe-inspiring monsters, and fearless heroes are woven onto this cloth, depicting a scene from myth. This is lovely. And the funds have now arrived from the Pope. We are well over 3,000. We can invest a little bit more. And here we have a court artifact to adorn. Let's see here. Queen Sarah's throne. We already have that. Queen Estefania's tapestry. What do we have here? We've got the Anjou banner, the Plantagenet banner. Now we'll replace the Anjou banner with our Queen's tapestry for sure. We'll hang it there where it belongs. Tensions have finally cooled. The easing tensions that is possible between myself and Queen Maddox seems to confirm that he has abandoned his vendetta against the House Plantagenet. Why do I waste my time with this nonsense? So with all of those things done, with some claims building in England, but with King Henri being infirm and his health severely declining, I believe this is time to end today's episode. A little bit of a cliffhanger to see how much longer King Henri the Good can hang on at the age of 62. If you enjoyed this episode, as always, hit like. Let me know what you think so far, and especially what's happening here with the Mongols at our doorstep. So until next time, I'm Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.